When Rachel said those words, "Maybe we should end it," she didn't even look up from her phone. It was almost casual, like asking what's for dinner. No hesitation, no crack in her voice, just a passing suggestion tossed across the room, as if our 5-year relationship was an inconvenient text thread she could delete. I remember the sound of the rain outside more than her voice. It hit the windows in soft, rhythmic taps, each one syncing with the way my heart sank. I looked at her, the woman I once thought I'd marry, and for the first time I didn't feel anger, just silence. Cold, thick silence. "Then start packing your things," I said. Came out steady, almost too calm. She froze for a moment, the way someone does when they expect drama but find none. Maybe she thought I'd plead or argue, but I didn't. I'd already done that for months without using words. Because this wasn't sudden. This was the final sentence to a story that had been dying slowly, chapter by chapter. Started small. Missed calls. Ignored messages. Nights where she'd rather scroll through Instagram than look me in the eyes. I used to tell myself she was tired from work. Then I told myself she needed space. Then I stopped telling myself anything at all. The distance became our new normal. I'd cook dinner, and she'd eat quietly, staring at her phone between bites. We used to talk about our future. Lately, we only talked about grocery lists and Wi-Fi passwords. And yet, when she said, "Maybe we should end it," she acted like she was doing me a favor, like she was finally voicing something I'd been too weak to say. But the truth? I'd already ended it inside me months ago. She put down her phone then, eyes narrowing. "Wait, you're serious?" I nodded. "You said it, Rachel. I'm just agreeing." The confusion on her face almost made me laugh. She wanted control of the ending. She wanted to say it, regret it later, and watch me chase her again. That's what she always did. Pull away just enough to make me beg, then reel me back in with half-hearted affection. Not this time. She stood up, crossing her arms. "You're not even going to talk about it?" I looked around the apartment. Her makeup scattered on the counter. Her heels kicked off by the door. Her half-finished latte still sitting on the table from this morning. Every corner of this place had pieces of her. And still I felt nothing. "What's left to talk about?" I said. "You've been halfway out the door for months." Her lips parted, ready to argue, but no words came out. Just the faint sound of the rain again, and the ticking clock on the wall between us. You see, when love dies, it doesn't die with a fight. It dies with silence, neglect, and small excuses. It dies when goodnight turns into "I'm tired," and "I love you" becomes optional. She sat down slowly, maybe realizing I wasn't bluffing. "So that's it?" she whispered. I shrugged. "I didn't end it, Rachel. You did. I'm just accepting it." Her phone buzzed. She turned it face down. For the first time, she looked nervous. I didn't ask who it was from. I didn't care. There was a time when I would have broken myself trying to keep her. Now I just wanted peace. As she got up to leave the room, I noticed the irony. She'd spent months acting like I didn't exist, and now that I was truly done, she couldn't stand the silence. Maybe that's the thing about people like Rachel, they want to be chased, not cherished. And I was done running. Rachel didn't leave that night. She went quiet, moving through the apartment like a ghost, pretending to pack but never really putting anything in the suitcase. Maybe she thought if she stalled long enough, I'd break the silence first. I didn't. I made coffee, watched the rain, answered a few work emails. She kept glancing at me between trips to the bedroom, like she couldn't decide whether to apologize or attack. Finally, she said, "You're really not going to say anything?" I looked up. I said enough. Her eyes watered, not from sadness, but disbelief. For years, she'd been the one with emotional power. She decided when we talked, when we touched, when we fought, when we made up. And every time I'd let her, because I loved her, because I thought giving her space meant understanding. But space isn't love. It's distance dressed up as patience. She sat across from me, her voice smaller now. "You're just going to let it go?" "I'm not letting anything go," I said quietly. "I'm setting myself free." There was a pause so long it felt like time stopped. Then she laughed softly, bitterly. You think walking away makes you strong? No, I said. It just means I finally stopped begging to be loved. She stared at me then, really stared, like she was seeing me for the first time. Maybe it shocked her to realize that calm isn't weakness. It's clarity. The truth is, people like Rachel don't expect endings without explosions. They thrive on drama because it gives them relevance. But when the storm meets silence, it's the silence that wins. She grabbed her phone again, scrolling fast, probably texting someone. Her expression shifted. Guilt, panic, then anger. You must think you're perfect, she said. Not at all, I replied. I just learned that being someone's option isn't love. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The air was heavy with everything we'd both left unsaid. Around midnight, she finally zipped her suitcase. You'll regret this, she muttered. I didn't answer. When the door closed behind her, it wasn't dramatic. No yelling, no slammed doors, no final words. Just the quiet click of an ending that had been written long before that night. For the first time in months, I could breathe. The apartment, stripped of her noise, felt lighter. There were no more half-hearted apologies or late-night excuses. Just silence and peace. A week later, she texted. I didn't mean it like that. I just needed space. I read it once, then twice. And then I deleted it. Because space was exactly what she'd given me, and I was finally using it. That's the part people don't tell you about healing. It doesn't always come with tears and closure. Sometimes it comes when you realize you don't miss the person. You miss who you were before they made you feel small. I went back to the gym, started cooking again, called old friends I hadn't talked to in years. My life didn't change overnight, but every day, the weight of her absence felt less like loss and more like freedom. 2 months later, I heard she was seeing someone else. I didn't feel jealous. I didn't even feel curious. Just relief. Relief that I didn't have to keep proving my worth to someone who'd already stopped seeing it. Sometimes, endings don't need closure. They just need acceptance. When I think back to that night now, I don't remember her words as much as my own. Then start packing your things. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't pride. It was peace disguised as a sentence. And in that moment, I realized something. You don't lose people who love you. You only lose the ones who never intended to stay. That's not tragedy. That's clarity.